Hey guys, Frank here. Today we'll check out some stories from /AskReddit. Here's the first. How hot do you think you are? Probably like a 3. But if you catch me on a really good day, then still a 3. Used to consider myself a solid 7, but since I got laid off, spiraled, and gained weight, I easily consider myself a 3. Trying to make better choices and get back to work. They say if people don't approach you ever, it's because you're either really ugly or intimidatingly hot. I think I might be really ugly, but I hope it's the other one. Your 8s and 9s would be 5s if 4s like me didn't exist. Thank an ugly person today for your relative beauty. Hot enough to enjoy looking at myself in the mirror, but not hot enough to get attention from women. Only 3 replies to this question. 1. People downplaying themselves. 2. People being honest. 3. People joking about temperature. 8 with my clothes on, 6 with them off, but by the time you realize that, it's too late. Ha 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 ha. 6.5 to a 7 and a 9.5 with a helmet on. 6 to 7 I'm a buddy's face. Abs, wicked body, good shape, but my teeth aren't perfect, my hairline isn't perfect, but I'm not bald, nice beard. Can't be gifted with it all. I'm so ugly, when I was born, the doctor slapped my mama. Pretty hot actually, when I'm not in my luteal phase lol. I am the physical embodiment of room temperature. A hot girl once rated me 7 so. 10/10 I have what many men don't, a nice ass. About 97-99F. Might increase because of fever. Here's story 2. Delivery drivers of Reddit, what's the most WTF, NSFW, or hilariously awkward thing you've walked in on while dropping something off? Back when I was like 23, one time I was delivering alcohol and a lady in a bathrobe opened the door. An older woman, very pretty though. She started acting kind of flirty. I smiled and just handed her the bag. Then she asked, "Don't you need to see my ID?" And I was like, "Nope, all good." Her smile dropped. I realized what I had done. I think she needed a win that day. I felt bad enough that I remember it about 6 years later. Oops. Used to be a pizza guy in my younger years. Weirdest thing that I ever encountered was delivering some pizzas to an older, larger lady who used a walking stick. She had her grandson over for dinner. She opened the door, I read out the order, she gave me some winks, paid, then said, "You're getting me as hot as these pizzas, do you want to come in?" I stuttered a no, and her grandson, around 12 years old, looking horrified, quietly said, "Holy heck, grandma." Had a large order of pizzas going to a conference room of a hotel. Nothing too out of the ordinary, until I opened the door and approximately 500 pugs turned their heads simultaneously at the man who just brought in yummy-smelling food to the pug owners convention. I left and proceeded to have a good laugh. On the other end of the spectrum there was a guy who ordered and was waiting on his porch steps when I got there. Couldn't help but notice his ball sack hanging out of his shorts. I left and proceeded to bleach my eyes. Had a guy answer the door in nothing but a sock on his dangle, acted like it was totally normal. Took his money and left without even mentioning it. Another time had a woman at the door, hiding behind mostly, who I'm 90% confident was being banged. I delivered pizzas while I was at uni. On my very first night working the job I got a delivery to a place pretty close to the pizza shop, walking distance, and was really trying to work out why. I knocked on the door with the pizza and a completely naked man answered. He couldn't cover himself up fast enough and was extremely embarrassed. Turns out the woman I worked alongside was his wife and the only delivery driver up till this point. I actually ended up as pretty good friends with both of them, we still catch up regularly. Anytime pizza is planned and mentioned at all I make the "better whip your jerk out mate" joke. I used to deliver propane in northern Michigan. I was doing a delivery to the staff building of a hotel where Jamaican women normally stay during the vacation seasons. I walked into the side door to get a signature for the delivery and there stood 3 to 4 topless Jamaican women. I blushed, turned my back, and started to quickly apologize. Then I heard an older woman laughing and she said, "What's the matter, boy? Haven't you ever seen boobies before?" I told my boss about it when I got back. He laughed his ass off. Used to work for a small courier service, mostly meds and legal docs. One night I'm dropping off an envelope at this guy's apartment. Doors cracked open, lights are red inside. Not dim red. Like horror movie red. I knock, say, "Delivery for James." From inside I hear, "Come in. It's feeding time." Dead serious. I noped out so hard I nearly left skid marks in the hallway. Called dispatch and made them mark it undeliverable. Next day the guy calls and goes, "Sorry about the Dracula vibe." I was setting up for my Tarantula's TikTok live stream. I don't even know what part disturbs me more. The fact that he said it so casually, or that the tarantula apparently had fans. I delivered to a hotel and a lady answered the door in a very skimpy outfit. From inside the room I hear a guy yell, "Hurry up, that's not what I'm paying you to put in your mouth." Worked as a courier for 4 years roughly. Have many stories, some shorter, some longer. I remember rolling up to a small house with the second floor windows open. You could hear a couple having a lot of fun up there. Unfortunately I also had a package to be delivered. So I ring the doorbell. A minute later, after the sounds quiet down, a shirtless guy pops his head out the top window. I show him the package, he says just a sec. Runs downstairs. Opens the door in nothing but a towel, signs for it and I get going. I wasn't waiting around to hear if the fun continued but definitely made me chuckle. I delivered a package to a house and needed a direct signature, so I rang the bell. The front of the house has a lot of windows so I could see her excitedly running to the door, but she was naked. When she answered the door she was very disappointed and said, "I thought you were someone else." I was a pizza delivery driver for a few months a while back. Had a couple open the door for me, him in just his boxers, her in just her bra and a bright pink thong. They were both really sweaty and it was obvious that I interrupted their fun time. The girl told me I was earlier than expected and smiled. That couple ordered a few more times after that, every time opening the door in underwear, his getting more revealing every time. After the third time they asked me if I wanted to join them after I'm done working. I declined because I was in a relationship at the time but still think about that sometimes. I know a food delivery driver who dropped off an order recently and the woman who answered the door said, "Thanks. I am so stoned." And then looked mortified as she realized the last part was not an internal thought. When I was 10, I did a paper round. I was riding down an alley where the residents had their garages. A garage door was open and a woman was bent over looking for something under the front seat with just a bathrobe on. It was the first time I'd seen her in the wild. I was shocked by how much hair, but I suppose it was the 1970s. I once delivered plumbing supplies for a pretty big national company in the UK. I knocked on the door and was greeted by a lady, probably mid-30s, but looked a lot older, rough paper round I think. She answered the door with nothing but a bathrobe on. I passed the parcels to her, she put them down just inside the door and every time she bent down, she flashed me her chest. I tried not to look, but was kinda hard not to. She then says, "Ooh, like what you see," with a huge smirk on her face. "No thank you, please sign for your parcels and I'll be on my way," I said. I got home and my GF, now wife, said to me, "You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." I still don't think I have recovered 8 years on. Had a lady open the door in a really revealing bra to get her food while I was taking a picture. Last week I had some text the app number, "Want to see my..." to me. Here's story 3. You get one 30-second phone call to any moment in history. Who do you call and what do you say? On the 27th of June, 2009, I'd call Stephen Hawking and apologize for the late notice, but something come up and I won't be able to attend his party on the following day. I'd call Alexander Graham Bell a few seconds before he attempted to make the first successful phone call in history. That'd probably frick him up pretty good. Myself 4 weeks ago and tell me the numbers for the next 100 million euro jackpot. Lady, the gorillas at the Cincinnati Zoo aren't that exciting. Don't even bother going. JFK, there are snipers in Dallas, put the roof on the limo. Hey Chuck. Leave work and go to the hospital in town. No, the good hospital. Trust me. We'll meet you there. Go now. Tell them it's a pulmonary embolism. Yeah, like Dad's. I would literally give my right arm. Maybe even the left one too. I'd call myself around 2014 or so to tell earlier me that Dad is going to get Alzheimer's and you need to move immediately to secure all financial documents and to make sure the home insurance gets paid because he's going to blow it off. Also find a way to get his driver's license away from him. I'd call Ian Azir and ask him why he was selling such bad quality copper and treating his clients with such contempt. I'd call my husband and tell him I love him one more time before he died. You have a boy coming in to show you his artwork today in an effort to get into your school. It will be bad. Accept him anyways. My grandfather in 2013 and convinced him to please go see a doctor instead of waiting for us to be back from overseas trip. Just call my parents and hear their voices one more time. A bonus if they both laugh. I'm in my 60s now and I never stopped missing my parents. Archduke Franz Ferdinand must not go to Sarajevo. The conditions there are not good. In 1988, that Iran Air flight is a regular plane, don't shoot it down. My mom. I just want her to talk, so I can hear her voice again. Here's story 4. Is YouTube's war on ad blockers pushing more people toward video downloader sites? Why do you think that is? A block origins is all you really need, provided you're YouTubing on a browser and not the app. I haven't seen an ad on the browser in a couple of years. It's to the point where it's really jarring when I'm watching something on my phone while doing cardio at the gym and I get an ad every 5 minutes or whatever. Especially since so many of them are absolute trash ads. Edit, did I accidentally type the right combination of keywords to summon the Revanced Bot Brigade? Seems like the Matrix is glitching. It's not, Reddit is a vocal minority. Nobody is enough of a psychopath to download each video they want to watch. Most people just watch and skip ads. No, it's just pushing more people to use ad blockers. VPN to countries where Google cannot advertise. No ad blockers needed. I found getting ad blocker on my phone and deleting the YouTube app solves it for me. Too many ads online, I find it abusive. I have been successfully running an ad blocker for years now, so I don't get why people still have an issue. I did have to update or change a few times, but the total effort per year is maybe 15 minutes. I am a YouTube Premium user because I spend more time on YouTube than any other streaming platform. What pisses me off is that I still have to watch content creators advertising ship in the middle of their videos, even though I fork out the money for premium. Edit, I've been using Sponsor Block for ages, but it doesn't always work. I also wouldn't put it past YouTube to eventually ban its usage. I don't know why I find ads so irritating. They just really irk me. Having said that, I do suffer from memory issues and have ADHD. It should, but it isn't. You need to understand that your average consumer of content is lazy as heck and willing to endure ads. Most users of YT or the internet in general don't run as blockers. If you are interested in ad blockers, I highly suggest YA install LibreWolf browser with ad blockers where you can. I thought they gave up on that one for a while. I do download video when on a mobile so I can Chromecast it through VLC. I don't use an ad blocker, but YouTube is definitely pushing me away. Enough is enough with the ads in the middle of a video. Sometimes more than one ad break. No, I'm not subscribing. I just tune in once in a while, primarily for product reviews, and I only do that because folks don't seem to write anymore. I am at my wits with YouTube. Their app is awful now. The search results are so unorganized, and it is easy to click those sponsored ads because they attempt to trick you by making them in every second or third video in your search results. I see more sponsored ads and shitty reaction videos than anything that I am actually searching for. Marketing needs to be escorted out of the building and walked to their car and given the boot along with whoever makes those decisions for them. I fucking hate ads. Once it hits the boiling point, I'm out. The ads through the app have become ridiculous. I was fine with 1 or 2 before the video, but now there's that and 3 during the video. They didn't learn shit from the era of the pop-up. The more ads you try to shove in someone's face, the harder they are going to try to find a way to see none at all. Get a block on Firefox desktop and mobile. Bonus: if you have an Android, install Revanced for YouTube and YT Music Premium. YouTube giving 2 unskippable ads every 5 minutes is only making people push harder to use ad blockers. It was fine when it was 1 15 seconds ad per video. Now it's just getting borderline unwatchable without ad block. Man, those comments really make my throat thirsty. Alright folks, follow for more stories with Frank. Frank.